Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have a community replay. That's right, we're bringing back the old timeless series that we started all the way back in World of Tanks console. The community replays, where you guys send me clips and I put them on TV or YouTube. But if you watch on your TV, then I wasn't wrong. Anyway, with that being said, who do we have this week? We have none other than community contributor and World of Warships Legends streamer, Juice to Goose. And he is in, well, by his own words, Chadmiral Hipster. So, with that being said, let's see what he's got. Now, first thing, those who have keen eyes may have noticed that this is not a full lobby. This is only a 7v7. And I don't know if that contributes or the fact that he's in the Hipper, but in this one, surprisingly to me, he's going to get up close and personal. Now, obviously, the Hipper is one of those ships that does do really, really well up close and personal because it does have turtleback armor. And that turtleback armor keeps battleships from citadeling you up close, which, to my obnoxious, aggressive gameplay, has bit me in the butt so many times that I don't even like to mention it. But we're on Greece, which is another thing you guys may have already noticed, and he is going to take center cap right off the bat. It's a domination, and he's going to go straight into the center and try to get stuck in and see what he can get. Now, in these lobbies like this, to put up crazy games isn't all that uncommon, especially for very good players. You see, good players are so used to having to carry their teams through even 9v9s where at least 6 of your players on your team are going to be questionable at best. But in these shorter matches, you don't get focused as hard, and so you're able to get stuck in, and it really does show the skill of one player that's better than the rest. And that's what this replay is going to show. And the fact that the Hipper is absolutely disgusting when it gets stuck in and gets to utilize island cover, and people either mistakenly charge a Hipper, which is a terrible idea, or they... Oh, he just took a very nasty... That could have been a dev strike right there. That North Carolina is at a range at which those could have easily have been citadels. And we've all seen what happens to a Hipper at any sort of medium to long range when a battleship gets a full broadside unleashed into its broadside. It doesn't end well. It's a very quick trip back to port because the Hipper, much like the Baltimore, it has enough armor to arm those battleship caliber shells. So those citadels are just wide open. And they do not take kindly to battleships. However, now that everybody's pushing in, look at what he's doing. He's utilizing the fast reload on the torpedoes of the Hipper. He's going to be not going all the way out in front of these guys. He's going to fire the rear guns. He's got AP loaded, which is something that a lot of people don't realize. The Hipper has fantastic AP. And I know I don't use it a lot because, honestly, I've always given the Hipper a bit of a bad rap, even though I know it's a good ship. I just prefer the Balti, and everybody laughs at me for it, even though I think you can laugh all you want. The Balti is still, in my opinion, the best cruiser at Tier 7. Now, he's gotten some good hits with the AP, and he's in a position where he's now radared, which is not ideal. You know there's a cruiser nearby, which is the Riga. So it's a short duration radar. By short, I mean it's only 20 seconds rather than 30 or 40 seconds. It's a 20-second radar that reaches out to 11 kilometers. Now this Riga, this guy is going to do what you should never do in a cruiser versus a torpedo cruiser, and B, a cruiser that has turtleback armor. And that is sail full broadside and beg for it. You gotta angle here. He ain't even looking at the Hipper. Like, you just radared, you knew Juice was here, and you still go full broadside into his torpedoes and his armor-piercing, taking citadels and torpedo hits, and it's just like, what were you thinking, man? Do you not pay attention to your own radars? Like, you knew it was going to happen. And Brandenburg also sailing full broadside, not a care in the world as as Juice manages to punch his broadside. Now, he backs up just enough. He is angled here, not the best in the world, but he does manage to get enough armor piercing through the cheek armor of that Riga to citadel him and take him down, which you just love to see. Again, utilizing the island cover to keep yourself relatively safe, waiting for the moment to strike, and that's where hippers are deadly. At this medium to close range, hippers are disgustingly good. But I still prefer Balti because reasons. But no, the Hipper's fantastic. Nobody's going to sit here and say that the Hipper's not a great ship. But again, it does really come into its own when you get into that 10 kilometers and closer range. Now, here we got another shot from the North Carolina at a range that could be nasty. Fortunately for Juice, he manages to get very, very fortunate that all those shells fell short. Just unfortunate for the North Carolina. We've all been there. Now, you can see Brandenburg's actually pushing in and is almost in range to torp. And there you have it. He launches the first set a little bit early, but he's counting on the Brandenburg pushing in towards him. And in fact, I mean, I'm fairly confident we can all guarantee that that's exactly what that Brandenburg's going to do. He's already turned the corner. He's coming straight in. He wants some of this Hipper. Unfortunately, he's going to get some of the Hipper that he didn't want, which is those nasty fast reloading torpedoes. Remember, Hipper gets 6 of them per side, and it's not like they don't do damage, okay? Unlike a lot of the German destroyers who spec into the skill that reduces the damage of torpedoes for extra reload time, the Hippers almost always are full damage torpedoes. They just reload in something like a minute and 10 seconds or something like it. It's like 70 seconds that they reload. Now, he switches over to HE because he knows that he just got a flood and immediately gets a permafire for his efforts. You gotta love it. And then immediately switches over after he gets the permafire to AP to get extra DPM downrange. He's got a broadside battleship begging for it. He aims high. He doesn't aim at the belt because, as we've talked about in the past, those battleship belts just have a lot of armor, so you don't want to shoot at the belt. However, he is sitting broadside, and well, fortunately for us, I guess the Brandenburg is just like, nah, I can't be bothered. So he goes down, and just like that, we're up to 127,000 damage, and he hasn't had to move. Everybody's come to him in such a doofus way, and now this is the moment you dream about. You've got a 15-inch battleship in front of you, which you know you can bow tank, and all you got to do is go straight at him, wait till the last second, and then dump torps into him, and he's dead. There is no surviving this for basically any battleship, unless, of course, you play it properly and you only take like 3 or 4 torpedoes here. If you take all 6, you're dead. And I think there's very few battleships, even if you're full health, that can take 6 Hipper torps and live. Like, it just doesn't happen. And the sad part is, if you do survive that, usually they just sail right past you, you don't kill them, and then they're able to dump freaking torpedoes off the other side as they sail away from you. It's pathetically nasty, and it's dirty, but it is part of the game, and you love to see it if you're on the Hipper side. Now, he gets these torps out. The Hood has sonar. He should have seen these coming, but you saw it. He wasn't actually running his sonar there, because once Juice got behind the island, he was no longer spotted, which tells me that the Hood was not running his sonar. Now, Juice is up to 182,000 damage. Remember, this is a 7v7, okay? That's nasty. Now, obviously, there were no destroyers in this one. That helps when you're in this situation. Now, backing up in front of a North Carolina... Never mind. I was going to say, backing up in front of a North Carolina with only 14,000 hit points is questionable. However, friendlies managed to take out the North Carolina. Is Juice going to manage to get into the base here? Doesn't look like it. It looks like he's going to turn away from the cap and potentially go hunt that cruiser, which I can't really blame him. The team's well in hand at this point. He's not going to lose this game. There is no way that the cruiser that is left is going to kill everybody in this lobby. It's just not. The team will win on points before that happens. So, Juice, wanting to get a little bit more damage, and I can't blame him for doing it, decides that München needs a little bit of a lesson in how to play German cruisers. So, Juice is going to give it to him. Now, he knows roughly the direction of the last known of the München. So all he has to do is go sail off and try to find the cruiser at the back of the map. And luckily, the teammate managed to get off the cap here, which is perfect for Juice because now we're not going to win on points before we find the little guy. And as soon as we do, look at the amount of people who are damage chasing right now. You got a battleship on the left, a cruiser on the left, you got Juice in his cruiser, and then you've got a battleship on the right. That's a lot of firepower waiting to shoot this poor little München. Like, this guy does not have any chance when he finally gets detected, which should be any moment as that cruiser gets within 10 kilometers. I do believe on most maps the little squares are like 5 kilometers each. I could be wrong, but I do think that that's a thing. It's something like that. So if you're looking at the map, I do believe that they're like 5 kilometer increments. I could be wrong again. I'm not 100% sure on that, but on most maps. There are some larger maps, some smaller maps. This is a smaller map, but roughly guesstimating around 10 kilometers from the edge of the map. So he's not spotted, which means he's over Juice's bow. And then he finally does get lit up, and poor Munchen. This is not going to end well. And you can see Juice is not even worried here. He goes straight for the AP at long range, knowing that that light cruiser has no chance whatsoever. He's not even trying to dodge. He's just sailing in a straight line, hoping for the best. And Juice is going to put it on him. Once he figures out the lead here, you can see that one he didn't quite lead him enough, though we can't really fault him for that. He's been shooting people within 6 kilometers of him all game. There he finally finds the range, and that's what we're talking about. Just absolutely pounding the Munchen. And one more shot. Is he going to get the kill? Wait for it. Pow! He takes him down. You gotta love it. So, in a game where it was only 7v7, the Hipper shined. 203,000 damage. Top of the leaderboard. 3,500 base XP and 4 kills. Really? Really? So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this community replay. I'm going to leave a comment down in the bottom for you guys. It'll be pinned, so look out for the pinned comment on how to submit your own replays to me so that you may be featured in one of my videos. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video. And don't forget to check out Juice to Goose's channel. He's a great streamer. Highly recommend him.